Welcome to yoga class. I hope that you have your space ready. So if you need a moment to get anything that you need, maybe a pillow or blanket, a beach towel, or if you have a yoga mat, that's awesome. If not, anything will do. I have a knee pad here because we are going to do some cat and cow today. And I've been doing a lot of things on my knees, so I'm going to protect them with a little bit of a cushion. I also have a block because I want to use a block for some of the things that we're using today. You can make anything into a block, a book or a couple of books or a pillow, if anything that would work for whatever you needed. So as always, we're going to come together and start by centering ourselves. So just stand any way that you want to stand. Let your breath have plenty of room in your belly to breathe open. And exhale, soften. So just letting that breath come in and out your nose. You know, sometimes we might have a stuffy nose and it's really hard to get the breath in. Try to let it come in the nose. If it just can't, then use your mouth. It's fine, really. And when we breathe in, can we open our shoulders and let our arms be very loose, but also very long? And exhale, come down. Breathing and opening. Exhaling down. Nice. We're going to wiggle our knees a little bit, lift our toes and then our heels, and just let ourselves feel like we're standing in a nice, comfortable way. Awesome. Let's bring our hands to the front, open and close. We're going to lift our shoulders up and down. And let's do that again. Open and close, really big hands. Knees are still soft, shoulders are up big, and then down. Let's let our whole upper body move. We're letting our belly bring us into this movement. And then we're just going to let that stop. We stopped controlling our arms so that they could come and rest at our side. Let's take a big breath open. And on the exhale, close down. Beautiful. Let's do that again, and this time we're going to breathe up. We're going to bend our knees as our hands come down and reach toward the floor. Breathe and reach up. And on the exhale, reach all the way down to the floor. We're going to bring ourselves down into a seated place. If you want to seat up on a pillow, blanket, or block, go ahead and do that. Whatever lets your knees and legs feel the best. Our hands are resting with our palms up. Wiggle the fingers there if you like. It might feel good and it might help you focus and concentrate if you bring your finger and your thumb together and let your other fingers hang out. But you certainly don't have to do that. You can let your hands be in your lap. You can let them be here because you know what? That is your choice. And whatever you choose is not wrong. So finding the place that works best for you today, we're going to sit really, really tall and let our heart be lifted and our shoulders be back and down. As we breathe in and out, let's think about our neck being maybe just a little bit longer. And on the exhale, keeping that long neck, our chin is going to fold forward. We're going to draw the very top crown of our head forward, lengthening and stretching our neck. Letting that feel good. We're going to breathe and bring it back up. And we're going to remember that we never move to the point of pain. Anytime that we start to feel pain, then we stop where we are and we back up. Let's move our chin side to side. We're just breathing in and out. Letting that out. Let's use that time to notice if we were stiff in our neck. Or maybe if we're drawing our shoulders in, then maybe we need to, on purpose, let them stay back down. So we're going to try that again. Breathing tall, staying tall. Exhale, draw the crown of the head forward, chin forward. Still letting the neck be long, letting the spine and the belly be long and tall. We're going to breathe and bring that back up. And then start the head side to side. and bring it back to the middle. So maybe we noticed that we were a little more loose that time. Let's breathe out and reach up. On the exhale, let's practice letting go of some things that maybe feel heavy on our body. Breathing up, maybe being alone has made us feel a little bit heavy. Let's breathe up, exhale down. Maybe not being with our normal routine or with our friends. Breathing up and down, exhale. Let's hold our hands in the back and roll our shoulders. Maybe we found that we actually missed going to school when we didn't ever think that we would. Let's move side to side here. That should feel really, really good. Now we're going to walk our hands out to the front just a little bit and notice how we feel here. Do we like it? Do we feel like we want to have a little more? All right, take a little more. Whatever you feel is fine. We're just finding what feels good in our own body. We're going to bring it around. And now we're going to switch and put the other leg in front. We're going to notice how this one feels. Does this feel different? It does for me. This leg being bent on the inside feels very different for me because I have a strain in that knee. So I'm going to be really careful with it because I'm listening to my body, because I would like to use my body for a lot longer. So I'm not going to push too far. You push as far as you would choose to go. Now let's notice where we feel this. Maybe it's the lower back, maybe it's the hips, maybe it's the legs. Wherever you feel it is where you feel it. That is your truth, right? Let's bring it back in. We're going to roll the shoulders, reach back, open, move side to side. Now this time we're going to breathe all the way up. And this time when we come down, we're going to push very far out. And we're going to reach with the heel of our hand. We're going to find ourselves reaching out. Now we're going to reach out with our fingertips. And we're going to reach out and forward with our heart and our chin. We're going to drop that down, relax it, and let it be very blah, very nothing. Someone might say, what are you doing with your arms right now? And our answer would actually be nothing, right? Now we're going to bring up with our breath the right hand. The left hand is on the floor for support, and on the exhale, we're going to reach way over. Right now, what we're doing is we're opening out the side, and let's think about our ribs. Let's see if we can think about creating some space in between each rib. And maybe we take that right hip over there and push it downward. So now we made even more space. We're going to breathe up, and on the exhale, power down. Really press into that other side. Our breath is up. Exhale, open. When we create this space between our ribs right here by reaching our fingers away and pushing our hip down, we are opening out the parts of our body that keep and hold on to tension. We're going to breathe up and bring it down with power. We're going to do that again, but first let's think about anything that maybe is giving us some feelings of being tired, feelings of not wanting to go do anything. We just feel like we don't want to even get out of the bed sometimes because it's just too much thinking. It's very hard to do our schoolwork in a different way. It's very hard to be in a place where we can't ask our teacher a question. But that's okay. We're going to take a breath and exhale out. This time we're going to breathe up. And as we exhale, we're going to open out that side of the body that can release those feelings. Just let them float right out of your ribs. Breathe up and exhale down. Let's go to the other side. So all of those feelings are releasing out, and we're going to bring into our thinking that we know one day soon everything will return back to normal. We're going to breathe up, exhale down, and we're going to be able to do all the things that we're used to doing. Let's breathe up, and this time as we bring our hands together, we're going to cup them like this, and we're going to grab hold of new positivity, and we're going to draw that down, bring it down with a lot of power, and we're going to hide it right here in our heart. So open out your thumbs and let it seep right into your heart. And we're going to hold on to that. That's a new positive. New things can be a little scary sometimes, but they can also be very exciting. And so we're going to hold on to that positivity and be excited about the new ways we're going to be able to learn. Let's go ahead and turn our body into all fours. So if you had something you wanted to use under your knees, like me, then you can go ahead and put that on your mat. And we're going to set ourselves up into all fours. Now I'm going to turn myself on a little diagonal so that you can see more of me. But you be any way that you choose to in your yoga place. Our knees are under our hips, our hands are under our shoulders, and our belly is pulled in very, very strong right here. So we're going to keep our hips from moving by making them stay neutral. They're not up and they're not down. The same with our belly, our shoulders, and our head. This is our neutral spine. We're going to breathe out, lift the top of the head, lift the tailbone. And on the exhale, we're going to come under. What we want to do here as we breathe up into cow is try to find the biggest scoop that we can. So if this were chocolate chip mint ice cream, I would want the scoop to be really, really big. You decide what kind of ice cream you want in your scoop. Push down into your cat pose, exhale, and really stretch through the shoulders. Breathe up, let the belly drop down, really give the best stretch you can. One more time, we're going to exhale, pushing with the fingers and the heel of the hand and also the top of the foot. Get your best cat stretch here. And then we're back into our neutral spine. We're going to let our hips move side to side. And then we're going to come in and give ourselves a little work. Some physical exercise is really, really good for relieving any kind of stress or anxiety, or if we're feeling overwhelmed. That means that if we're feeling like there's just too much stuff to think about and we don't even know where to begin. So we can begin with some movement. We're just going to let the whole heart, ribs, belly, shoulders, head, everything is moving in a circle. And then we're going to go the other way. We're bending our elbows as we do that. And we're keeping our belly in. We're not arching our back. We're still in that neutral spine. We're going to turn our toes under and just rock back into our toes and then move forward. And maybe we want to let our hands move a little bit more away from us and move into that place. And stretch back into our heels. So we're feeling this in a lot of different places. Let's spend a few breaths just deciding where we feel this. There's not a wrong answer here. Wherever you're feeling the work and the stretch is where you're feeling it, right? Pretty cool to know that you can't be wrong about the way you feel. We're going to come all the way back and we're going to practice a balance. So if you have a block and would like to use a block here, or a book, or a pillow, or the bottom part of a chair, a wall, whatever you can put your hand on, without leaving finger marks on the wall. Do not do that. So we're going to bring our knees and our feet all the way together. So we're going to walk those in and we're going to really squeeze them together. Squeezing them together creates energy and force, and that's going to give us a stable base to sit on. So we really tricked you into thinking this was yoga class. It's really science class. Well, it's yoga too, because yoga is science. So we're going to set the block away and see if we can practice balancing. Can you bring your heels together? Can you bring your heart a little higher? And can you be longer and stronger in your belly? And then maybe you can bring your hands forward or hands together, or you can make some shapes with your hands. You can do whatever you want as long as you can still balance. Right now, our struggle here is going to be to stand up from here. So we're going to try. Hands together, maybe take a few bounces. Breathe, 2, 3. Exhale, and all the way up and down. Very, very good. So we made it through some work. We're going to go ahead and stand in a very wide stance with our toes facing the corners, and we're going to bend our knees. And then we're going to bring our hands to the heart center. We're going to reach up, and then we're going to reach out and bend. And we're going to reach out in both directions as far as we possibly can. And in just these next few breaths, we're going to think about reaching out. Notice that you feel things here. Let's bring our belly in so that we're not going to let this happen. So we don't want to feel this, but rather feel this strong base here. Notice that we might feel our arms lengthening, reaching. Maybe we reach more to one side, more to the other. Now let's bring our arms all the way around, close them in and come into a standing place. And notice that it's a little bit harder to breathe here because we've closed everything off. Let's bring our arms up overhead. Notice which arm is on the bottom. We're going to come around and reach out again. Really, really reach side to side as if you're actually reaching hold of something that's going to be helpful. We're going to bring the arms around, come into standing. Now the other arm is on the bottom. Hold into that. Find that little bit of difficulty breathing here. Open out. We're going to bring ourselves back into our mountain pose. So here we are with our toes on the floor, heels on the floor, shoulders are back and hands are forward. We're going to soften the knees, let everything bend and bounce a little bit. Turn our head. Shoulders up and down. Notice that it was much easier to breathe and we could feel so many more things when we were reaching out versus when we were closed up. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more position here. We're going to take a breath. On the exhale, we're going to reach all the way over. We're going to dive over like we're diving into a pool. We call that a swan dive. So our wings, the wings of the swan came down. We're going to reach toward the floor, maybe put our fingertips on our legs. I like to use a block here. And then from here, we're going to come up and we're going to sit back in a chair. Then we're going to come right back over into this place, whatever it was, hands on legs, lower legs, on the block, or all the way on the floor. And it doesn't matter if your knees are bent or straight. What feels good to you today? After this, we're going to sweep our arms all the way back up. So we're going to make that into a pattern or into a routine. And then we're going to spend these first few breaths in this particular flow by thinking about having a routine, having a one thing, two thing, three thing, knowing what comes next. That can be really, really important when we're starting to have those feelings where we feel heavy and weighed down. So our first thing is to breathe up. Our next thing was to soften our knees and sweep over. From there, we came up and went into our chair. And then we came right back down. And then we came all the way up. Let's repeat. Over to our forward fold. Breathing up into our chair. Hands can be here or maybe they're here. It's your choice. We're coming back over into that forward fold. We're going to sweep it up, reverse the swan dive. Now do it again. Last time. Exhaling over. Breathing into that chair. Exhaling to the forward fold. Breathing all the way up and all the way down. Now you can practice that particular flow anytime you choose to. And you can put more things into it. So as we start to have more classes together, you can start to find more things that you can put in there. In our next class that we have, we are going to have a longer flow. So here we just had 3 patterns, 3 items in our pattern. And in the next one, we're going to have 5. So be prepared for that. And then make up your own. As long as it feels good to you and you can breathe and you're not going to be endangering someone else, I think that you should be able to do that just fine. If you have your strap, we're going to bring it together and go ahead and find ourselves back to seated position. And as we do that, we're going to talk about mood shifters. You can come up with a page in your journal, your diary. I use my planner. You might want to make a vision board. And I found some things that make me happy. And grown-up people do this too, but a lot of times we can be in a really awesome mood and having such a great day, and then one person comes along and says something that hurts my feelings or makes me feel like I'm in trouble or makes me feel like I'm doubting, like I'm not sure about the choices that I've made. I don't like those feelings. So I've put together some pages for myself that I can look at, and they automatically make me feel better. One of the things that I have on here is I found in a magazine, and it says, hold your head up high, do your best, and go for it. I look at that one a lot. I also have one that's cut out that says coffee, so I look at that one a lot too. Here are two more that I really like that I found in a magazine. I cut them out. This one says rise above. And I love this one. It says, you can do it. So maybe as a little craft project or an art project, you can put together a page or a poster board or something that you can see whenever you need it that can help you shift your mood. I call those mood shifters. You can call it whatever you like. So real quick, let's just go into a little bit of stretch. We're going to go all the way down. I'm going to use a block on my head so that I can keep my voice lifted up just a little bit. We're going to let one leg fall out to the side, and the other one's going to come into the strap. And we're going to hold it up high, and we're going to let it be very long. Now we're going to bring it over toward the bent leg that's on the floor just a little bit, but we want to make sure that this hip back here with the stretched leg is staying down. So maybe we feel some stretching happening on the outside of that leg. Notice where you feel it. It's very, very, very important to feel what you feel and not ignore what you're feeling. Bring it back, two hips on the floor. Now we're coming around. This hip leg needs to stay down. Let that leg come away a little bit. If you bend your knee, it might come away a lot more. And you can do it any way you choose. Bring it back, change it out. Now we're just going to keep breathing as we do this. Just breathing in and out. No right or wrong there. Coming all the way into that position. Now we want to try to leave this hip down as we come across. For me, that's a really intense stretch. I feel so many things happening in the back of my knee, along the outside of my hip. Now we're going to come back this way. I like to bend my knee when I do this one because it gives me more stretch that I like. And yoga is all for you, for your own self, so you choose how you want it to be. One more time that we get to be right no matter what. We're going to bring that back in. Now let's bring both knees in and give them a little squeeze and maybe let ourselves rock side to side. And as we breathe in and we breathe out through our nose if we can, let's think about three things that we're really, really happy about. Three things that bring us some good, joyful feelings in our heart and our belly. So breathe that in, and maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a book that you love to read, maybe it's being able to be outdoors, maybe it's a song, something that makes you happy. And let's be grateful for those things. We're going to let our knees turn. And now we're going to think about three people, just the first three people that come to mind that you can tell your truth to. If there's a truth about you that you would like to share with someone, think about three people, grown-ups, friends, teachers, someone from church, anywhere that you know somebody really well. Let's breathe in and breathe out and think about three people that we could reach out to if we wanted to share our story. And now we're going to spend the next couple of breaths breathing in and breathing out, maybe letting our knees pedal back and forth. And let's think about three things that we are really, really awesome about. What are three things that you do so well? Maybe you are a really good brother or sister. Maybe you are very good at making things. Maybe you write good stories or you can write poems. Maybe you're funny and you like to make people laugh. Maybe you can run really fast. Maybe in your heart you like music and you love to share music. Or maybe dancing. Maybe you're just a really, really good friend and everybody in the whole world could really use a good friend. We're going to bring our feet up and bring our hands back. We're going to lift our head and our shoulders and take a big breath. On the exhale, we're going to roll ourselves all the way up. And remember earlier, we grabbed hold of some new positivity. So let's get big hands this time and grab hold of a whole lot of that new positivity. Drawing it down, we're going to commit ourselves. We're going to promise in ourselves to accept the new positivity with the best that we can. We're also going to pledge that we're going to work with integrity, honesty, and excellence. And we're also going to promise ourselves to be gracious and show mercy as we learn the new things that we're learning and we begin to explore new ways to learn. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga class today. I cannot wait for us to have another class together. Have a great rest of the day and namaste.